The town of Washington was founded during the gold rush when Margaret McDowell subdivided her land in order to just keep going and support her family after her abusive husband was killed in a barroom brawl by a couple of Davis developers. The town of Bright, founded at the turn of the last century when Mike Bright decided he needed to spend more time being county sheriff and less time raising cattle for the dairy. And the subdivisions of West Sacramento proper, which emerged from drained swampland just thereafter. But we were not a city. We had never been one. Then 50 years ago, this year, in 1968, the people of this town looked to the future. They came to the polls to cast their votes, to take the helm of destiny, and like the founding fathers 2 centuries before, took up the mantle of independence, not from King George, but from the imperious Yolo County Board of Supervisors. And they spoke resoundingly. By an overwhelming vote of 4,784 to 2,828, the people of this community rose up and said, yeah, no, we're good. By a nearly 2-to-1 margin, the voters defeated the proposal to incorporate as an independent city. And the newspaper the next morning reported this: the people of Broderick, Bright, and West Sacramento have shown once and for all that they do not want a city here. Now, fortunately for us, people are not very good at forecasting how much, how profoundly, and how quickly their future selves will change. And 20 years later, we did become a city. Those same neighborhoods voted overwhelmingly, almost 3-to-1 to become a city. In fact, one of the candidates that won a city council seat in a city that didn't happen in 1968 was George Christoph. 20 years later, his son Bill Christoph was elected to that very same city council that now was for real. West Sacramento is, and always has been, this weird synergistic blend of continuity and heritage with change and progress. And like every other city in the world, we're changing faster than ever. Our own pattern of land, on the land here in this community has transformed more in the last 25 years, maybe in the last 10 years, than it had in the 50 years before. And the forces that are driving change in communities like ours, and our willingness and our enthusiasm to ride those forces, they're accelerating like they never have. It's not just technology. We are changing at a faster clip than ever before. Even just 10 years ago, virtually no one in this room had even heard of Tesla or self-driving cars or Airbnb or even iPads 10 years ago, because they mostly didn't exist. And when they did spring into existence, you'll all deny it now, but nearly all of us believed that no one would ever use them. We would say, what kind of dumb fool would get into a stranger's car? Hey, I already have a desktop computer and a smartphone. Who needs this iPad thing? You won't catch me sleeping in some random stranger's room when I'm traveling. No one but a millennial is going to do that kind of couch surfing nonsense. We're horrible at predicting how much we like change, and we like to try and experiment and grow and evolve as people. And it has never been just about the technology, even in this region. After Marty Tuttle, as the head of SACOG, after we adopted the blueprint for smart growth in this region and said we're now going to grow compact development, more urban, more places like this, I think I've recorded a few of the people in this room who said, there's no market for that. Everyone's always going to want 5 bedrooms on a cul-de-sac. Real adults who aren't millennials will never buy townhouses or condos on the grid or on this West Sac waterfront, and they're sure as heck never going to want to rent. They're only going to want to buy. These were certainties, even just a couple of years ago. So it's not just technology, it's even what we do as cities. So the fact is, it's not that people are reluctant to change, which we often say in City Hall and in civic life. People aren't reluctant to change, we embrace it. It's just that our predictions of what we'll think and what we'll want in the future, those predictions are resistant to change. Now, the pace has picked up so much in recent time that I think it makes more sense not to look ahead 50 years, like I just looked back 50, but maybe just 50 months. Take a look 50 months into the future, which would put us at about July 3rd, 2022. Now, the driverless hover taxis that are being tested today in Dubai are scheduled to go to the broad market and serve the entire city of Dubai in 2022. Driverless hover taxis, in the air taxis. Most predictions are for ubiquitous autonomous vehicles in 2022, 50 months from now, just under the term of a member of a city council. Mobility as a service, where we're buying transportation, we're buying the trips, we're not buying the cars anymore. But we're saying, hey, I want to take the kids to soccer on Saturday, and so let me call up an autonomous minivan, and then for date night, I want an autonomous sports convertible, and then I want to go hiking on tomorrow, and I want an autonomous SUV. I don't want to own a car, I want to own a set of experiences that I can have in that car. That more and more retail will be places you go for experiences like IKEA as much as it is to find physical goods. And the nature of our transportation system changing by 2022, if not sooner. An autonomous dinner table, where you might, instead of going to dinner, your dinner table moves around in the community, where you will grab maybe some fried raviolis at the Vezin Club for a quick appetizer, maybe some banh mi fries at Broderick is where your car takes you next. You don't leave the car. The dining table is in the car. You head over and get some jambalaya at Kick and Mule. And of course, you're going to stop by Devil May Care and get your ice cream. These are not crazy ideas 50 years into the future. They are 50 months ahead. Even the notion of hoverboards in cities like ours are quite predictable within the next 50 months. Now, it sounds fantastical, but it also could be fantastic. It could mean a lot more time with family and friends, more time for volunteerism, for civic life, for connecting with people. It could, if that's the world that we create. And in some sense, it could free up the street space that we're using today for parking, room for all the different new ways of getting around and creating new great public places in our community. Now, all of that is actually reasonably likely to happen in the next 50 months. 50 months, that's hardly any time at all. And it could be as normal as Uber and iPads within just 6 years from now. In fact, in Austin, the mayor there says if you'd order a pizza, you have a 50% chance right now that it's going to come by autonomous vehicle. In Pittsburgh, the citizens there, more than 50% of the citizens in Pittsburgh say they've already had an experience either riding or seeing on the street an autonomous vehicle, and most of them, a majority of them, feel safer with autonomous vehicles than human-powered drivers. The pace of change, not just the technology, but the pace of our psychology around change is also rapidly accelerating. Now, when it comes to mobility and some of these changes, West Sacramento is not standing still. We're not quite on a hoverboard. We're a couple of days away from drone-powered airborne goats, but we're heading there. Our city has just been selected in a national competition to join the Smart Cities Collaborative, supported by Transportation for America and supported by Alphabet's Sidewalk Labs. We're joining 20 other major cities across the United States, from Austin to New York, Atlanta to Boulder, Santa Monica to Miami to San Diego. Together, we're going to be shaping the future of urban and suburban transportation, not just in an abstract way in the country, but on the streets of cities and towns just like ours. We're going to be creating the best practices, the adaptive, resilient, flexible public policies that can make shared, automated, electrified, connected mobility work right here on Main Street. Now, we set a goal 2 years ago to become America's smartest small city. And most of you laughed. You always do. But it's on. It's on. The next smallest city in this national collaborative of the smartest cities on transportation, the next smallest city is twice as big as us. The future of what small town transportation looks like in America is being birthed right here in West Sacramento. Now, why? It's mostly because no city of our size is getting ahead of the curve by partnering and by testing so much innovation. No other city of our size is offering as wide a range of new transportation options that promise mobility for all, more than mobility that's customized. Now, starting this month, just in the next week or two, we're going to be launching a dynamic new menu of ways to get around in the community. We're starting with small ones, but they're a window into what the future might bring. So we're bringing affordable, reliable, efficient mobility to even more of our residents and visitors. We're going to make it truly convenient to live without a car, or maybe just not drive the car as much. and make it more easy to get out and have fun and enjoy the place that we're all creating together. Now, the anchor of this new dynamic menu of mobility is something totally tried and true. You've already heard about it from Congresswoman Matsui. That's the streetcar. The streetcar is the backbone of our ongoing transportation system. Preparing and embracing and winning the future isn't about throwing away what we know works. And the trunk lines, the main backbone, the spinal cord of our community will be the streetcar line. And it's why we're so appreciative of her leadership and the support by all of the partners in the region and the state to bring that together, to connect us to light rail, to the trains, to move quickly even when there are 1,000 Ubers on the road trying to get between Rayleigh Field and the Golden One Center. And I particularly want to acknowledge and thank Jack Enos, the CEO of CalSTRS, which has a not trivial portfolio of, I'm told, $260 billion. To manage around the planet in support of the teachers of this great state, who spends the time and energy to bring to life the streetcar project and so many important community initiatives in our community. Just thank you, Jack, for being a corporate citizen here in our town. So, but if you're not right here in our downtown, or you're not at Rayleigh Field or the Bridge District or the Washington District, how are you going to get to the streetcar? And what about just getting around inside of the rest of our town, which has everything that you might ever want and don't need to leave anyway? Now, a lot of folks will use rideshare services like Lyft and Uber, even though they said 5 years ago they wouldn't. Others are going to take the bus, maybe taking advantage of the transit center right across the street that links all the bus lines in the city to the streetcar. But this month, you're going to get 2 new options. You'll see one of them in a couple of weeks just by opening up the new your Uber app on your smartphone. A year ago, we launched the Tower Bridge preview of a new option for getting around, bike share. We weren't the first in the country, but we had a new system that was kind of semi-dockless for this region. In partnership with the cities of Davis and Sacramento, we rolled out a pilot bike share system, and guess what? It works. And people like it. So 2 weeks from today, with our partners in Davis and Sacramento, 2 weeks from today exactly, we're going to be launching the new Jump bike share system. Now, what's new about it? Well, more bikes, more stations, not just here, but in throughout Sacramento's grid and in adjacent neighborhoods and in Davis, but more coverage as we build out the system even here, so that finally I can get on a bike share and get to the Sail Inn and get to other parts of the community as well. But also, these bikes are electric assist. Now, you're not going to go 100 miles an hour, but they will provide an extra boost of power to make it easier to get around, and when it's 110 degrees outside, maybe a little less sweaty. So we're going to be the first and largest electric assist bike share system in the country. Be about $1 for the smallest trip, $4 an hour, totally affordable, and it will be completely accessible over time from within the Uber app, because Jump is now a division. As we've been working with them, they've become a division of Uber. So it will be highly connected to rideshare. Then, in 11 days, we're launching the initial phase of an audacious, but basically simple service that we hope is going to solve one of the toughest mobility problems that vexes every city that isn't New York or San Francisco. And that is how to make transit work when you don't have the super density or the super blending of land uses and housing and office and retail and entertainment all in one place. We run buses that are empty, winding like serpents around the city into cul-de-sacs, trying to find one rider who doesn't show up because that one rider is like waiting for the bus that only comes every hour and a half, and it takes forever to get where they need to go. We know, every city in the country knows, suburban traditional transit doesn't work, and it can't work. So enter Mayor Pro Tem Chris Ledesma and YOLO Bus, who've been working together with our team in City Hall to launch a new service, a new pilot service that we're testing with Via. Now, as you came in, you saw one of the vans, but this is an incredibly important opportunity in our community. What we're trying to solve is to create something that costs about the same as traditional public transit and delivers the kind of reliable, efficient, point-to-point, your needs service that Uber and Lyft and other ride-sharing forms offer. And so for just $3.50, that van, that really nice Mercedes van outside, branded for West Sacramento Via, is going to come either to your home or where you're at, or within a block or so, and take you within a block or so where you want to go. You'll be waiting in 6 or 7 or 8 minutes for it at the most. A completely different user experience than our traditional transit system, but at a cost a cost that will be reachable to all the clients of our current public transit system. This has the potential to be a game changer, and so I hope you will join all of us in making this a success. We know the technology is not crazy. The vans, they're high-quality Mercedes vans. We're not testing the vans. We're testing the market. We're testing the use. And so please, yourself, get out there and use Via's app to use the service. If you know folks that don't have access to a smartphone, we can also make reservations by phone. But help us get the word out about this test. It's one of the most promising pilots in the Sacramento region, one of the most promising in the country. These Jump Electric Assist Bike Share and Via On-Demand shuttles, they're the first two new mobility options that we're launching, but look out for other stuff, shared electric scooters that the City Council's already approved, self-driving shuttles like the ones that were first demonstrated in our region right here in West Sacramento, again with the partnership of Mr. Ledesma and YOLO Bus and our own team. And even though it might seem like there's like a dizzying array of weird and new technologies, the toys are not the point. We're iterating, we're innovating, we're testing, and we're giving people the chance to vote with their trips. We're creating the supply so that we can see the demand. For government, we're used to regulating and operating and owning and bureaucratizing. So this is exciting and terrifying at the same time for those of us in government, and it will be for all of us as we start to see people whizzing by on bikes and scooters and Via and everything else, as we're all trying different ways of getting around. But the role of government's changing, and we're trying to create a portfolio of options, be a platform for a variety of operators to show what can be the reality and to give people the chance. Now, you'll say, well, but there's going to be scooters in the bike lane. What am I going to do? There's going to be a bike share from Jump is going to be parked, and it's going to be in an angle on the sidewalk, and I'm going to have to walk around it, you might fear. And don't even get me started. I'm so worried about self-driving cars. Just remember this. That's pretty much the whole history of transportation innovation. I don't know about walking, but everything after that has had the same public reaction. Because if those fears had prevailed, we'd still be riding horses, because when cars came out, people had the same exact concerns. We just didn't have quite as robust a state government at the time. When streetcars came out, the idea that these giant things were going to be coming on rails down the street were truly terrifying. And yeah, when bicycles came out, if you read the initial press stories about bicycles, the fear of people coming on these two-wheeled contraptions at high speed was absolutely horrifying. And so we're going to learn, we're going to regulate as we go and figure it out and build that system together with users in our community. And we're going to be creating the guardrails around policy to make sure that we are learning and implementing the right safety and market mechanisms as we go along. And that's part of the reason why we're teaming up with these other 21 major national cities in the Smart Cities Collaborative. Because part of our work together is going to be on making sure that we're protecting and growing the street and curb space that's available as one of the most important assets that we as cities control. Now, being recognized as one of the leading national cities for innovation doesn't just mean better transportation or affordable and efficient mobility or even just cool bikes and Mercedes vans and scooters and air drone taxis and goats. It's also critical to attracting new investment and new resources and new talent. And it's one of the reasons why he's not here tonight, but Barry Broom, the region's, godfather for business recruitment from Greater Sacramento, when wrangling together the region's unified bid for the Amazon H2Q headquarters, said that West Sacramento's bid was the most compelling. Now, why is that? Now, we started actually with 3 different bids even just from West Sacramento. It could have been the Washington District, where between what DNS is doing, the Savoy Project, the Strand and the Rivers, 301 D Street, there's 575 units of housing that are in the pipeline right now at this moment. We're building the Poetry Walk in the Washington District. La Crosta is opening up. CalSTRS and its incredible portfolio, and the employees that make West Sacramento their day and their heart. And CalSTRS, which has inspired us so much in the home run for kids and our commitment to education, they're moving forward with their next project, their additional headquarters building, and hopefully also with their mixed-use facility on the waterfront. So the Washington District was a possibility. It could have been the Pioneer Bluffs District, where we just won one of a handful of statewide grants from EPA for brownfields remediation and planning, and where we've removed various industrial uses, and the Mike McGowan Bridge is creating all kinds of new economic development opportunities. Or it could have been, and it actually was, the Bridge District, where between the granary, the bridge, and other projects in that district, 200 units of apartment zone homes are online right now. Drake's is finally on track. I live a block away. We check it every day. The Mill Street Pier has been completed, and the art that's coming to the Mill Street Pier is coming soon. The Kaneko sculpture is on board. The Subtile sculpture, one of the really terrific amenities that's been added for the region, right on the Riverwalk Subtile. And I'm not announcing anything right now, but it would be pretty cool, or maybe David Tobon's saying it's okay. What about if six pretty significant Burning Man sculptures were to arrive in the Bridge District placed strategically along the river to create a sense of these are not little things, right? These are not a sculpture to be given as an award. These are for real things that bring to life the spirit and the art of Burning Man, but also connect to the place that we are. What if that happened? What if murals? What if it happened on August 1st? What if it happened on August 1st? Imagine murals throughout the city and the work that Wide Open Walls has been doing on murals and so much more to come, like the exhibition of Burning Man sculptures as well. The level of energy and excitement, both within our own community and in the whole urban core, which is exactly what Congresswoman Matsui was describing. We're ready now. The work that so many of you have done has made this ready, and now we're ready to bring it completely to life. And so I want to thank David Tobon, who with just a walk along the waterfront a couple of weeks ago, has laid out a vision for what we could accomplish in art in that area. So art as a major driver of the riverfront and these innovation districts. And in fact, that's why the Bridge District, with all of those assets and amenities, was our bid for the Amazon H2Q headquarters. It could have been any of them, as I say. And we didn't win the competition, but what we won was the clear knowledge in this region that this is the future. The Bridge District of West Sacramento is our prime location, not just for the world headquarters of gigantic multi-billion-dollar corporations, but it's where life is going to be. It's where we're drawing on the soul and the work and the synergy of all of the neighborhoods that make West Sacramento such an incredible place, and bringing them together in a way that economic prosperity and culture come together. Now, we just got a new tool called Opportunity Zones. Which you probably haven't heard of, but they were buried in one of the bills that the Congress passed recently that create a new mechanism for investors to get capital gains special tax treatment if they invest in opportunity funds that then those opportunity funds make investments in areas that need a turnaround, that need some boost in investment. When the first list came out of opportunity zones that the governor was going to choose in California, a draft list came out just a couple of months ago. And we had an opportunity zone on the list. And we were excited. It's in the area around the port, in the Port Industrial Park. But that wasn't going to do it for West Sac. So and I want to thank Fulcrum and other partners, and particularly Aaron Laurel in the Economic Development Department, the director there. We dug in and we fought, and now we have 4 census tracts in West Sacramento, which is all of the ones I just described. The Washington District, the Bridge District, Pioneer Bluffs, and the Port District all are opportunity zones. That has the potential to be a game changer because this is one of the federal government's key tools now for driving private sector investment and support in affordable housing, in infrastructure, in other projects that are going to bring these to life. And so thanks to Aaron and thanks to the governor of California who saw the vision, saw the investments that the state has already made, and quadrupled down on West Sacramento and our future. Now, like I said, we're not looking for some giant corporate campus like Amazon to come in and save us, to create great places or to grow good jobs and careers or to open up the riverfront or drive shared prosperity. That's not our goal. But the HQ2 process and criteria, they did give us a window on what matters. Folks who are making investments in places and cities around the country, what are they looking for? And the 4 criteria were the ones that popped out. Workforce. They're looking for college degrees, but that's not enough all by itself. They're looking for real markers of technical, demonstrable talent. Badges, essentially. They're looking for sustainable placemaking. Sidewalks and bike lanes and trams and public plazas, energy-efficient lighting, pockets of green space. That's right out of the Amazon bid. Globally connected infrastructure like the port, but also like the airports and smart city infrastructure. And they're looking for the diversity that our region and this community are so proud of. So let me issue a challenge tonight. Let's make the Pioneer Bluffs District, in conjunction with the Bridge District, the next innovation district, a place where creativity and research and entrepreneurship and scaling up and learning and investment all get blended and integrated together into the new kind of supply chains and value chains. And bring your best ideas and for those of you that are landowners, bring your land, your opportunity zone investments, your new small businesses, your new ice cream shops. Companies like Molecular Matrix in our town are already coming here from Davis when they are finally ready to grow. Molecular Matrix is creating a three-dimensional biodegradable substrate that's to be used in surgery to spur the growth of new healthy bone in patients. And this place in between Aggie Square and UC Davis has the potential, with an innovation district in the Pioneer Bluffs District and surrounding areas, to be the place where the tremendous rich research that the University of California, Davis and other institutions in the region are producing gets translated into real economic prosperity, into real startups that don't just start up but thrive and succeed and deepen our prosperity and also solve important world challenges. The new chancellor at UC Davis has been in this building and shares our vision for this community and for Davis. And that's because 86% of jobs are created by startups and by in-state expansions, not by us recruiting people from other places. It's also why we're really excited about the opening right now of the world's third collaborator, startup incubator and an accelerator, right here at the Bayer Crop Science Center in West Sacramento. Now, there are two other Bayer collaborators in the whole world. Now, of course, economic development's clapping. The economic development staff, and they should. There are two other collaborator labs and accelerators in the entire planet, one in San Francisco and one in Berlin, Germany. Number 3 here in what Bayer calls the greater West Sacramento area. Now, this is a place where startups can come get the support, the labs, and the connections to capital they need to thrive and to establish themselves here. It's already home, this collaborator that's just opening. It's already home to Biome Makers. It's an informatics startup for the wine industry, which moved from San Francisco to here, in part to be closer to local vintners like Muddy Boot, the providers of tonight's wine. It is already the home of Join Bio, which is working on ways to improve nitrogen fixation in cereal crops and to reduce the amount of fertilizer that gets into our rivers. So if you're not into science and technology, don't fret. We want your innovation ideas too. And in fact, the region's first socioeconomic startup incubator, the Glue Factory, just moved to West Sacramento from Roseville. So these are important initiatives, in part because our weakness as a community, our weakness as a region, and our weakness in the Amazon competition was our skills, our workforce, which is solid, but has to adapt to a set of new challenges and realities. Now, the share of jobs that require high digital skills, not coding necessarily, but high digital skills, jumped from 6% since 2002 to 24% today. And the share requiring hardly any has plummeted in half. And already, almost all digital jobs require at least medium digital skills. And we've been weak in that area, not just here, but throughout the region. High school, having just a high school diploma, or even having just some college with no degree, just going to college and taking a class or two, or a high school diploma, you're probably earning less today than 5 years ago. Only people who've earned a college degree of some form, a certificate, an associate degree, or a bachelor's degree, have seen earnings growth since the recession. And Brookings, which just released a report about the region's economic health, says that 42% of folks in this area who have only a high school diploma are struggling to survive economically and in their housing. And only 13% with education beyond high school are struggling. So we know what we need to do. And it's why you know what we've done. Like 6 years ago, we said, someday we want to have a West Sacramento College promise. And someday we want to offer internships to all. That was 6 years ago. 5 years ago, we said, we have a plan for college for everyone and internships for all. 4 years ago, we put the proposal together. We got a couple of grants to prove that we could do it. In 2016, the voters of this community passed Measure E to invest in what has become the home run to deliver on exactly that. Last year, we told you about our plans for implementation, and I'm pleased this year to say that we are doing it, and young people in our community are already benefiting. It's a powerful idea, the West Sacramento Home Run. It's so powerful. This year, it won the National Ideas Challenge for cities. It won the U.S. Conference of Mayors competition for the best education and workforce initiative in the country. It's been featured recently on KVIE as one of the state's most promising strategies as well. And the home run basically ensures that West Sacramento retains its competitive edge in the region, but more importantly, that we have one of the best workforces to be competitive in the world. Because we're not competing with Galt and Live Oak or Rancho Cordova anymore. We're competing with places in the rest of the country and in even other continents, and our workforce has to be trained up for that to happen. So the home run is a critical part of that work. And it's part of our ambitious strategy to weave together a workforce system, not a bunch of little initiatives here and there, but a system that will pretty much guarantee that young people in our community, when they're born here, they get every opportunity linked together to have a successful career, a successful and meaningful life, and to stay right here in this community and to contribute. Because part of what we want to say to the changes because of artificial intelligence and automation is, watch out, robots of the future. The children of West Sacramento, they're going to be your designers, your coders, and your bosses. So let me run through the three bases, and as I do that, I want this is a profound movement. What is happening in West Sacramento that is now open to young people throughout our community. And as I describe these, please have in your mind the community effort that is causing this to happen. The voters of the city said, yeah, we'll support it, but it's taking teacher after teacher after teacher, school board member, business services assistant superintendents, CTE directors, in order to make it happen in the schools. It's taking community college faculty and board members and executives and folks trying to figure out a budget to make it happen. And powerfully, it's taking the superintendent and her school board in order to make this a reality. At no point in the history of this community, at no point has the city and the school district worked so closely on such a transformative and profound initiative for our community. And I'm so proud and so grateful to the leadership of the school district. I believe Linda Luna has been the best superintendent of schools this community has ever been blessed to have. Because she knows that what every child is capable of and what it means when everyone achieves their potential, but she also knows how to get it done and how to deliver tomorrow on the promise, like tomorrow, I mean like Friday, not like tomorrow in the near future, Friday, in order to make this a reality. And her board has strongly supported this work, and we're very grateful as a community to that. Now, First Base is universal preschool. We were one of the first in the state and in the country to launch high quality universal preschool. And as part of the home run, families in our community will have access to homeroom preschools certified as meeting high quality standards. Those standards are there to make sure that it's preschool that will result in young people being ready to succeed. Not just having gone to preschool, but ready to succeed in kindergarten and all the way through to college and to career, using the standards that have been developed by Trustee Sarah Kerben Gonzalez and Bab Sendine and Oscar Villegas and Carolyn Pearson and our team over time. We're working with not just our own preschool across the street and a couple of others, but with the school district's excellent preschools and with family daycare centers that have become high-quality preschools as well throughout our city to create a network of lots of different providers. Everybody's pulling in order to make preschool a reality everywhere. And too often, preschool interventions, they fade away. The benefits fade away after 3 or 4 or 5 years, not in West Sacramento, because that's just First Base. Here in West Sacramento, we're sticking with you, young person, all the way to home. And already 672 high-quality preschool slots have been guaranteed and been made available through our network. And we're providing coverage for 85% of all of West Sacramento's 4-year-olds. And we're not going to stop until we get them all. And tonight we're joined by three members of the community who are making that vision a reality in all these different ways. Janice Yee Villanueva, who's with Mile Preschool, operates four of the family child care home run certified centers. Eileen Sedilko is a preschool teacher with more than 35 years in Washington Unified. She's a teacher at Stonegate State Preschool. And Lynn Arner, who's one of our own early learning specialists who works with high-quality preschool providers across West Sacramento. These are the folks that are making it happen and delivering on the promise of preschool for all. But we're still at first base, and once a young West Sacramento graduates from a high-quality preschool and shows up for their first day of kindergarten in Washington Unified, there's going to be a $50 seed deposit in a city-sponsored college savings account open for them. And you already heard this from Assemblymember McCarty. We know that a college savings account, even with one as little as $50 in it, causes children to be 3 times more likely to go to college and 4 more times likely to graduate. This is a huge impact, especially when you combine it with preschool, with high-quality preschool. So we hope to have the college savings accounts up and running as early as this fall, and they will create from the very beginning an expectation that college is for real, that it's the default, that opportunity is for all, and that families should start planning and can start planning for success right away. And again, thanks to Assemblymember McCarty for the Every Kids Count Act. We're hoping to get some of that money and expand this program to serve even more young people even better. Now, after first base, you get to second base, and you're 13 to 18 years old. And now we're guaranteeing paid internships for all of the young people in our community, the juniors and seniors who are making satisfactory progress. You got to do your job too. In an integrated college and career pathway, we'll guarantee you a paid internship in this community. No one else has been able to accomplish that, and it's hard work. We're working on that hard every day, but the promise is so profound because paid internships correlate with higher likelihoods of full-time employment. They help young people figure out what they don't want to do and what they do want to do, but they also bring to life the curriculum, what's happening in the classroom. They make it relevant again, and they learn the critical job skills that you can't teach in a classroom, that only showing up late or wearing the wrong clothes or fighting with someone or doing the wrong thing with a photocopier can teach you about what it really means to do real work. And so we've asked you, and I want to beg you again, those of you who are in the private sector and the public sector, to help us by agreeing to host internships. We've got all kinds of support around curriculum, about internship design, around evaluations. We're working with the school district and others to help find exactly the right match of young people who have already learned through their school pathways around the skills that they need to be great interns. And we're ready to help on the wages too. We just want to help make every kid have this opportunity. And so we're already teaming up with employers, many of whom are in the room, not just the city that we talked about earlier, but Wallace Cool and Associates, the Center for Land-Based Learning, Frontier Energy, the Washington Unified School District, who's been a terrific in this work, Broderick Roadhouse, the River Cats, Computers for Kids, Lanise's Cafe, KJ2, the Health Education Council, and the California Department of Parks and Recreation. We've been able to secure internships for 24 students in this last cycle, and we're ready to deliver even more. And Future Ready, our partner, the city's partner in this work, has been awarded with us nearly $250,000 in grants, in addition to the measuring investments by the people of the city, from the Workforce Investment Board, Strata Education, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, the Wells Fargo Foundation, and PG&E to advance this work. But it takes the internships from each of you to do that. And so we hope that you will. And tonight, if I can, I want to announce that AT&T is stepping up in a big way to help this work, and because the support of this kind of a program, not a small thing for a handful of students, but for every single high school student that's in a college and career pathway, takes resources, it takes support. And so thank you to AT&T, which I'm pleased to announce is committed an additional $20,000 to the West Sacramento Foundation and through Future Ready to advance the paid Career Ready internship program. Thank you so much to AT&T. Our great friend Alice Perez from AT&T is here as well, and she's many of you know her as a lifelong advocate for business and for education in this region and statewide. And thank you so much for your support of this important work. And if you're an employer and you haven't yet committed, Chris Warden, the Executive Director of Future Ready, is here to sign you up. Now, if you don't see Chris tonight, and even if you do, tonight when you get home, go to wshomerun.com. That's the website we've just launched a few minutes ago for the West Sacramento Home Run. That's got all the collateral, all the information that you need, and the ways to sign up to be a champion for this work. Whether it's in internships or in career fairs or in job shadows or mentorships or just a cash contribution or to support any of the work of the West Sacramento Home Run, maybe you want to help create a digital badge as part of this program. We need you to be a champion. The voters have stepped up and put the resources in. Now it's up to us as the leaders of the community to deliver. Now, along with internships, we're also developing, as you know, one of the country's leading systems of data-rich digital badges in order to support that work. Then comes third base, and at that point, West Sacramentans who graduate from high school here and are ready to succeed in college are eligible to receive 1 full year of fee-free tuition if they enroll full-time at any of the 3 Sacramento City College campuses. This is the West Sacramento College Promise. This is one of the country's leading college promises. Now, I said it in one sentence, this is a powerful commitment of our community, that for every young person, if you do the work and you are ready to go to college and succeed, that you do not have to worry about tuition. Your family does not have to worry about tuition. College is an option for you. Whether it's for a degree or for a transfer or for a certificate, whatever you need, it's going to be there for you. Students can't complete any of those. Now, we know that college completion rates suffer, and it's been one of our big Achilles heels. We have a good number of students who go on to community college but never, ever finish. And so we're using the promise to say, hey, we're investing, and you got to do the right thing. Enroll full-time in community college, because enrolling full-time more than doubles the chances that you're going to finish. Fill out a federal student financial aid application so you're not leaving any money out on the table, because that also means you're more likely to complete. We're doing everything we can to make sure that college graduation rates go up as well as college attendance rates. So this is only possible because of tremendous partnership with Los Rios Community College District, Sacramento City College, and I particularly want to call out, in addition to President Gutierrez, is the Dean of the Center here still here? We did his Spanish language interviews and left, but I want to thank Michael Gutierrez and Art Pimentel and the whole Sacramento City College team for stepping up on this project. This has already become an inspiring national model for places around the country. And so the home run in West Sacramento has all of the potential to transform this community in all of the ways that we care about. If you care about affordability and gentrification, the home run is our best strategy to provide people the opportunities to succeed and earn good wages and have a great career. If you care about holding our community together as a whole place, all the neighborhoods, we have to invest in education and opportunity for all. That's what's happening. And if you watch Linda, Luna, Art Pimentel, Michael Gutierrez, and all of the teachers and team and staff that are doing this, the businesses, the interns, the young people themselves that are excited and inspired to do even more, you can't help but step up. I'll say the United Nations featured this just a couple of months ago in Malaysia as one of the world's top strategies for dealing with inequality and economic opportunity in the world. There's the West Sacramento Home Run. So it's a big deal. And we need your help to get the word out and make sure that no child and no parent, no family in this community is not aware of all of the options that they have before them. Are College Promise young people still here? Or? All right, they were here earlier. They went back to study for their classes tomorrow. But they have some really powerful stories to tell, so watch out for the videos and other collateral that's coming that will tell you all about that. Now, as I come to a conclusion, I want to give you one last update on Measure E. I told you, we're doing $1 billion levy project. I wasn't going to talk about it because we didn't have time. There's too much going on in West Sac. Let me give you the quick report card on Measure E, because the home run is the centerpiece of Measure E, and I've already told you about some of the smart city and mobility and age-friendly innovations that we're doing, but here's the quick lightning update on some of the other key Measure E initiatives. Homelessness. This year, there was a statewide report on the most promising initiatives and pilot projects in California for dealing with, for combating homelessness and the impacts of homelessness and helping folks emerge out of homelessness. And in that report, that statewide report, the Bridge to Housing partnership between Yolo County, the City of West Sacramento, and so many community partners was highlighted as one of the most promising one of the most effective ways of helping folks find permanent housing and permanent employment and a way out of the cycle of homelessness. And so thanks again to all of our Bridge to Housing partners. We're also working hard with Sutter and other partners on a permanent supportive housing project, the first of its kind here in our city. And we will shortly be launching a new partnership with Downtown Streets that Councilmember Karina Orozco has been championed for, that you'll hear a lot more about, but it is a way to help to beautify the community and engage folks who are experiencing homelessness in ways that can give them both dignity and also a way out, income, and the chance to be able to prove what they can do and give them a door back into opportunity. And so look for all of that. Starting next year, we'll be beginning a multi-year program of fixing and resurfacing roads in virtually every part of West Sacramento over the coming years, both with Measure E funds and with the SB1 funds. Please don't vote to repeal it. And then finally, in the trail system, that Measure E envisions West Sacramento being home to one of the greatest trail systems of Northern California. And we're making some big moves in that regard already. You've already heard about the Sycamore Trail and Bridge. And again, thank you to the school district, the school board, and the superintendent for their partnership to make that really critical, both equity and mobility, but just really great project for our community come together. And also connections in the southern part of the city through the levee system to things like the Clutterwald Adventure Park, or to the River Chase development, or to the Bees Lake project that just got another state grant for its restoration, and down all the way through the Clarksburg Trail. Some major trails projects will be coming next year as well. Now, as I close, I know I said that Martin Tuttle would be impossible to replace as our city manager, but you know, the impossible is kind of West Sacramento's specialty. So I have one last announcement tonight. Are those kids gone? Okay, so we have found a savvy, creative leader who basically invented a whole new mechanism for investing in and revitalizing challenged communities after redevelopment is wiped away. We found a candidate for city manager who had experience in rescuing a port from bankruptcy, which was something that was really important as a priority for us. Somebody who had demonstrated how to go out and get the money, find grants from every state and federal and international and intergalactic agency possible, and launched some of the biggest urban infill projects that our city had ever contemplated, who was the incoming chair of the Statewide Economic Development Association, and who both as a manager and an executive has a reputation for mentoring, for developing, for building and supporting teams of people to achieve their highest potential, and also for doing the same thing with interns, like we just talked about in our own as well. So it turns out we found that new leader in a house just down the street on Deerwood, right next to the new Sycamore Trail, right here in our own community. We found them in an office just 2 floors up, right here in City Hall. So I am pleased to announce tonight that the City Council has appointed Aaron Laurel as West Sacramento's new city manager. Aaron will be the first homegrown internal candidate to become city manager, and it's a testament to Aaron's commitment to this community since he joined us as a redevelopment specialist 13 years ago, and has worked in practically every department except for sewage in the city. But it is also a testament to the whole organization. We had strong internal candidates from the city's organization, and it reflects the capabilities, the confidence of the team as a whole in West Sacramento, the leadership of our city manager in developing and supporting some really terrific leaders. And it is an organization that is more ready than ever to deliver on the promise of what this community deserves. Aaron is widely known for his his skill in creating solutions, in for getting dollars, and for making opportunities where none existed, and for working with and leveraging the state and federal governments, for building and supporting teams, and for doing it all with a heart and a connection to the roots and the purpose and why we're here in the first place. So with Aaron, we know we're going to be unleashing the talents, the ideas, the spirit, the creativity, the investment, the drive of all the people in this room and throughout the community. So tonight I'm just going to give you a to-do list. I've learned this from Congresswoman Matsui. Don't leave a meeting without saying what everybody's going to do. So please, tonight, say thank you as you go to Martin Tuttle and to tonight's award winners and to all the other change makers in this room and throughout the city. Try the new VIA shuttle service, the Jump Bike Share. Give them a chance. They're going to be fun, and they're going to help change this community. If you have more money than I do, invest in an opportunity fund. Start that business. Be the next Jess Milbourne. Build that project on the land that you already own and that we issued the permits for 5 years ago. Build your project. Go to wshomerun.com and become a champion. Sign up yourself, sign up your child, host an intern, build a digital badge, spread the word. Get to work with Aaron on a new idea, a project, a new small business. Give us your best concepts and ideas for Pioneer Bluffs and Stone Locks. Head to the Big Day of Giving and support one or more of those hardworking nonprofits doing great work here in West Sacramento. And most of all, enjoy the place that we're making together. Get out there and get after it. Thanks so much. Good night.